Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our mini webinar series. This time we're going to talk about Google Earth. And I want to give you an overview of some geo tools that will help your students in the classroom. Also, just so you know, this is part of the curriculum for Google Certified Educator Level 1. So if you're interested in taking that course, don't forget to sign up for it. It's on our GCSD EdTech newsletter, should be in your email. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. And we will hopefully get to where we want to. All right, so this is just the document that shows what we're going to do today. It shows you where we have the recorded webinar and also the tools that we're going to learn today. Let's go ahead and get started with Google Earth. So if you have subscribed to the calendar events, you're going to see this document there. And you can click on the links here as well. So if you want to do this with me, that's even better. Okay, so let's go to Google Earth. When you click on the Google Earth icon, it's going to take you to Google Earth. And now that it's launched, I can go ahead and try to search for a place. So 5 quick things to get started. We're going to look at these icons over here. So the first one is the search button. So I want to look for a place that I actually will really like to go one day. Paris. Google Earth will fly you there. And once you get to the place, notice that the screen has a couple of more things that you can look at. So the first one to notice is these knowledge cards here on the top right. These knowledge cards have information about the place you searched, and it also gives you points of interest in Paris. So if you were to click on this link, it gives you different places that people have searched for related to Paris. So, and the information that comes in these knowledge cards are from the Wikipedia website. So like if you were to click here, it takes you to the knowledge card itself, and it gives you more information about this particular place. And then it gives you also more links to continue exploration. So let's go back to Google Earth. And let's say I want to actually look at the Eiffel Tower. So this little paper plane icon over here will take me there. So if I click on that, it's going to fly me right there. And as you can see, this awesome 3D view is by default what Google Earth will give you if there is 3D satellite imagery from the place that you searched. And you can tell that you are in 3D because the navigation icons over here will tell you that you can toggle to 2D if you wanted to. Now that we are here, I'm going to look at these icons over here. So the first one is Pegman. So I can immerse my students into this actual map or in this location by grabbing Pegman. And as I grab the little Pegman, I notice that the streets light up in blue. And I can also see these little circles. That means that there are photos that people have uploaded to Google Maps from that particular place. So let's look at a street view first, and then I'm interested to see this picture right here. So let's look at that. I'm going to draw Pegman on the street. I'm going to go straight right onto Street View, which means that I can now walk the streets by navigating these arrows. And I can also pan and look around the area with my mouse. This is a great exercise for students, not only to learn how to use the tool, but also I can see many connections in here. If you were to teach a lesson with this, this could be just, for example, the prompt for a writing piece, or we could ask the students to compare and contrast this particular place. There's so many other ideas that I will go over in just a few minutes. So again, with Street View, you can walk around the streets. And then when I'm done with Street View, I can click on the X and get out of Street View, and it will take me back to the Google Earth view of the Eiffel Tower. Again, this I can hand and move around, zoom in and zoom out. Okay. This is this little world here. You can click to zoom to the space, or double click to, or drag to fly to a particular place. So if I know I'm over here in the map, it gives you like an idea of where you are in the globe. But say I want to go now to, I want to travel to Africa, right? So I'm just going to move it here. Let's go to Madagascar, right there. So he's going to fly me there. And once I get there, again, I can zoom in. And we are in this island here. I'm not sure if we have a pegman, but we can try it. Oh, we have some pictures. So let's take a look at here, this particular picture. It's from the ocean, and I can see that this has been uploaded by this particular person, or in this case, it's the company. And I can see it's a photosphere, which means this is a 360 image. If you were to have Google Cardboard, you can actually see this in 360 with the 360 viewers as well. Oh, this place is gorgeous. Okay. This is a great way to take your students on a field trip and look at different geographic features all around the world. Another thing that I wanted to show you is this other icon that I have here. This will fly me to the location where I am right now, so where my computer is. So if I was to click this, it will take me back to Guilderland Schools. And it's pretty much very, very accurate. That's exactly where my office is. So again, nice 3D view of it. You can toggle to 2D and look around the area. I can bring Pegman as well and do Street View. What I want to do here, I know that last year we did Google Summit. So let's see, there's some pictures over here. Let's take a look at this one, for example. So there we go. This is a photosphere. Again, this was uploaded by Emily here. And we can look around and see what was going on. I think this was at a Google Summit about 2 years ago, or a year, or this year maybe. All right, so now that we are looking at this, I still have my knowledge card here. Remember we started here with the Eiffel Tower? So I can click on it. It will fly me back to that spot where we originally started. These knowledge cards, you can click and look at the other points of interest here. And again, with the paper plane, you can fly to those locations. All right, let's go ahead and look at the other icons over here. This is Voyager Stories. So if you click on that Voyager, it's going to give you curated content that has been created specifically for Google Earth in partnership with other companies such as PBS and National Geographic. And as you know, we were lucky enough to have National Geographic come to our school district and film our students at the middle school using Google Earth and National Geographic content. I'm going to show you specifically what they used, which was under the Education tab. They use Paul Salopek's Journey. It's the storytelling odyssey. This was a great example. I'd encourage you to visit the National Geographic website. It's nationalgeographic.org/education/Google Earth. I know I have very little time, and I just want you to explore this education, curated content. This is, for example, specific content for math. I know that we're looking at Google Earth and we're thinking, okay, how can I incorporate this in the different disciplines or different areas? This one in particular is a very good example of it. So we can click on Explore. And when you look at a Voyager story, the screen will be split in two, where you will have the information on the right-hand side, almost like a knowledge card, and then the view on Google Earth on the left-hand side. There are videos that you can watch. You can have your students watch. And as you can see, we have 5 cards related to this particular Voyager story. So as I move around and click on these cards, it will fly me to the destinations described on the card. And even though I'm in a Voyager story, I can still use Pegman. I can still pan and zoom and in and out and walk the streets as well. I can use all these tools. So this is a very good example of how we can integrate this in not just language arts and geography or social studies subject areas. So once I looked at this Voyager story, I can exit out from here. It will keep me at that place, but again, I can fly back to my location over here. Another thing that I wanted to show you is this icon over here. It's called the I'm feeling lucky icon. When you roll the die, you can see that it will take you to a random place on Earth. I love this particular feature in Google Earth because it's a great way to start a lesson. So if you have never used Google Earth, I encourage you to at least try the Feeling Lucky icon. Start up Monday and have the students go to Google Earth and fly to a very random destination. A couple of things that the kids can do there. They can observe the place where they land. They can describe this place with a vocabulary, target vocabulary that you want them to use, or a vocabulary that they've been learning. They can describe this particular place with just one adjective, or you can make it a challenge to describe it with just one sentence. They can grab Pegman as well and walk the streets. They can use the place as the setting of a story. They can use the people, picture in these images as the characters of the story. It looks like this is a family visiting the zoo. So this could be a way to trigger some writing activities with a realistic content and setting for their story. Another thing that I like to do is have the students roll the die twice and compare and contrast those two places, like identify 6 things that they have in common or 6 things that are different, kind of predict what kind of people live in this place, what, let's roll the die again. What do people do to live in this particular place? What kind of housing do they have? What would be a typical day in the life of these people? So let's zoom in here. Let's see, it took me to the Hawaiian Islands. I'm not sure if we're gonna have street view here, but we can give it a go. Here we go, we have some photospheres probably. So let's get there. So those were just a few examples of ideas that you can do in class. And, before you give the students a large project, using the Feeling Lucky feature for just one time at the beginning of the class for a warm-up, for example, it's a great way for them to start to learn the actual tool. And then you can give them, more of an advanced topic that integrates using Google Earth into their particular project. This is a great, great photosphere as well. So, all right. Going back to the Voyager stories, really briefly under the culture, again, a very quick activity that you want to do is one called This is Home. And I find this particularly interesting, specifically for a starter activity with the students, because it helps the students compare and contrast something that is very relatable to them, which is their home and their location, their neighborhood, their town, their city. So let's click on Explore now. And it will take you to different places around the world where housing and home is very, very different. So let's look at Africa, for example. Again, I can navigate the different little knowledge cards, let's say. And then, for example, this one is going to actually drop me right into this home. I mean, this is such a powerful image. It, again, could be a great way for a writing prompt. It could be a great way for debating in class when you're as a segue for a particular topic you're trying to teach. You know, we can ask the students to predict what kind of things that people in this area do for a living. How is this housing different from ours? What do you think these people struggle with? Great opportunities for service learning. And I know a teacher is doing a lot with providing consumable water for areas like this. And so there's different charities and organizations that you can connect with as you have the students explore these areas that lack, you know, water resources, for example. So that's all I have to show you for Google Earth. And I'm going to quickly jump to Google Earth Engine, which is another geo tool from Google. And I like to use time lapse because, again, this imagery from satellite that's been taken from 1984 up to 2016, I believe, it's very powerful and very telling. So, for example, let's look at the growth of Las Vegas, Nevada. And as you see what I'm going to show you in a minute, I'm sure that social studies teachers and science teachers can see a lot of potential with this image. Let's make it a little less fast. Let's go a little slower to see the growth of the urban growth, and we can point out and ask our students, you know, observe what happens as the urban growth happens, what is happening to the geography around this area, particularly looking at the lake over here. So, and you can find different places you can search for example, where we are right now. To bring it to something more relevant for like elementary students, for example, we can look at the geography here and what happened in our area. Again, a lot of urban growth, and we can see what happens with the land. Again, you can zoom in and out using these tools. Very, very important for our students to be exposed to something like this. It makes it a little more tangible rather than just talking about it. They can actually see what happens when we have urban growth. And the last thing I want to show you is Google Maps. You can search again for a particular place in the world. Let's go ahead and look for where I am from. And again, I can zoom in and out, move the map around, and I can bring Pegman. And let's see, just gonna go any place over here. As you see, you can you know, go onto Street View, navigate the streets as I mentioned before, pan and look around. And in this case, if you look closely over here, you see the little clock icon. This is showing me the Street View from August 2017. But if I click over here, I can actually go back in time and see what this particular place looked like in 2012, in November 2012. And then again, a great activity for students to compare and contrast and see what has happened around the world and in this particular location. And you can see the different places, the different times, sorry, that the Google Street View car has passed this particular street. So there you have it, friends. I think that's all I have for you today. And may the 4th be with you. Thank you. Bye.